Hi, welcome to session 6. In this session, I will challenge another common automatic thought in social anxiety, one that comes up quite often, which is, I don't know what to say. And in this, we'll challenge and dispute that with our questions. We'll come up with summaries from what we learn, and then move on to finding a rational response that you can use. So our automatic thought is, I don't know what to say. Coping self could be, what have I done when I have been in this situation before? And I do want to make one note. A lot of the coping self questions are ones that I made up on my own, but are probably based off of what you've seen on the list. So as you learn and improve this skill, you can also develop your own questions and do not have to just go off a already pre-done list. And in my estimation, as you keep practicing and get better, you will get the hang of it, and you will be able to do this on your own to some extent. So, answer to what have I done when I have been in this situation before? Well, I usually can at least answer a question or two, but I really try to end it quickly. This is my anxious self. Coping self. So I've been able to say some things before. Anxious self says yes, but not much, or maybe anything of value. My coping self says, are you going to be solving the world's problems at the store? Anxious self says, I hope not. Coping self says, so the conversation might be about casual topics like clothes or the weather. Anxious self says yes, and I can talk about those things. So in summary, some of the key points that we took away from here is that in previous situations like this, I have talked many times. Maybe I labeled the conversation as unimportant or nothing of value, but the point is that I still have talked. The conversation, another important point is the conversation doesn't have to be about anything of real, true importance. A lot of small talk is based out of just that, small topics, whether it's the weather, how a person's day is going. And small talk is usually kind of the grease for the wheels. No relationship moves forward without some small talk to a certain degree and extent. It's the, like I said, it's the grease that kind of we put on the wheels and the gears to keep everything going just within social interactions and within social relationships. And another key point is most conversations usually centered around what's actually going on in that situation. So if you do tend to keep a topic more focused on what it's around, that's usually the case. So when you're at a store shopping, they're probably going to ask questions, or the discussion might be about what you're actually shopping for. And if it's, in this case, clothes, what's the occasion, what's its use, etc., etc. So keeping all of those things in mind can help within developing that rational response. So ones that I came up with were, all I have to do is answer a question. Oftentimes we worried about the content, but really all we have to do is just answer what the question is. And most of the time people try not to ask complicated questions because they want to engage in a dialogue, not stump someone. Another one, and we gave that a 90%. Another one is, talking about clothes is a reasonable topic. So again, if you're in a clothing store and you're shopping for something, talking about the clothes that you're wearing or wanting to purchase, that would be pretty reasonable because that's what you're there for and there to do. And the person is there to help you and answer any questions that you have as being a part of that store as an employee. And then the last one, and I gave a 70% for that. And then the last one, small talk equals a success. I rated that 85%. In looking at answering questions, engaging in small talk in a store setting, it's very much a success. If you don't have a lot of experience doing it, or if you don't like doing it, because the more that you do it, generally speaking, the easier it does get. And the more that you find it is helpful and can help with engaging in many social situations and eventually developing lots of good, solid, relationships. So for this one, you can certainly use any of those, rational responses. That can be helpful in that situation. Thanks for joining me in this video series on cognitive restructuring. I sincerely hope that you find it helpful and wish you well in your journey on using cognitive restructuring to help you with entering into situations that cause you anxiety. Thank you.